This is our volunteer tech guy. So kinda, quality service, you kind of.
Right, you're live.
Okay, thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you for. Is this even? It doesn't need to be on. I want to thank you all for coming tonight for the Homebuyers Roadmap. I am Drea Donaldson. I am a local trustee board member here of the township. I'm also a HUD-approved housing counselor. I have over about 26 years of experience in the home affordable area. So I have seen pretty much everything from down payment assistance to, making sure that making sure that you're a successful homeowner. You have all the tools that you need to purchase your home and to stay afloat. So today's presentation, we're going to go over just some of those brief steps, and then I also have special guests with me. I have our home inspector, Eric Trinidad, who will go over the home inspector's role, and then I have our realtor, Olivia White, who will be going over a role of a realtor and things like that. And if you're joining us live, please feel free to ask any questions. We do have someone monitoring the chat if you guys have any questions, okay? Okay, so just as I said, the purpose is basically to learn about your home buying team. And when I say team, that's exactly what it is. I know when we watch TV and things like that, they make it seem like, oh, you just push the button and you get the loan and there you go. It's about a good 150 other steps before you get to that point. So, and making sure that you understand that your team is working with you. They're not telling you what to buy. They're not telling you what products to get, but they're advising you as you pick and choose what services and things that you want. Okay, so when we talk about the home buying team, you want to really have that housing counselor, which would be someone like myself who can sit down with you and go over those numbers. I tend to go over the numbers that is your net. When you're talking to the loan officer and things like that, they base things off of your gross income. So I want to make sure that your wonderful house, that you're still able to buy curtains and get gas for the car and things like that, still live your best life, okay? So you'll have your real estate agent, and there's a lot of for sale for owners and different things like that, but you really want that expertise of that real estate agent who can really tell you like what the taxes are, what the utilities are to expect in that area, what that area is like. So these are the services. You want to go to the professionals. The lender, are sometimes known as the bank or the broker. That's the one who's actually going to give you the loan. We have your attorney, who's going to look over the contract, making sure that everything is legit, that you're not losing money. Your title insurance agent, the appraiser, and then your home insurance. So as you see, these are people. These are all the components that make up your home buying team. So it's nothing like that commercial. you need these people to really help guide you through that process. Okay. Okay. So step one, we're going to talk about your mortgage readiness. And when I talk about that, a lot of times people are like, well, my credit is good and this and that. It's not just your credit, but it's also your debt. It's also how much savings you have. It's how long have you been on your job? Have you been employed for more than a year at full time? Where is your income coming from? Different things like that. So this is when you apply for a home loan, this is really what you say, exposing yourself financially. I mean, the bank has every right to look at every nook and cranny of your finances. That's why they want the bank statements. That's why they want your income taxes. They want to see where money's coming from, what your financial picture looks like month to month. So it's really disclosing a lot of yourself. And if anybody in the audience has questions, feel free to ask at any time. So when you meet with a housing counselor or someone like me, I also like to call myself a financial translator because I do translate financial terms. So pending, I just came up with that, so nobody else better use that. So you want to determine your budget. So you want to look at how much you can afford. As I said, I do budgets based off of your net. Remember, when you're going for the house to level the playing field, banks go off of gross. Down payment requirements. How much does it cost to buy a home? I generally say a good rule of thumb is anywhere from 6 to 12% of the purchase price. So if you're looking at a $100,000 home, you want to have that 6,000 to 12,000 as close as possible in that savings account, okay? And then what's the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification? Pre-approval, everybody's pre-approved. So those are the little inserts you get on your car. Come get your new, your new Mustang or whatever. Everybody's pre-approved until we get to that pre-qualification. That's where we need the pay stubs, the bank statements. We're looking at your credit, things like that. Okay. When we talk about the mortgage payment, these are all of the things that are inside the mortgage payment. So you have your principal, your taxes, property taxes, insurance, homeowners association if you have that, and any other assessments. Okay, and the cost of buying a home. So, a lot of times we always think about like the process or what have you, but we don't think about those upfront costs. As I talked about, that down payment and that closing cost. That is that 6 to 12% that I said I give a general rule of thumb.
Can you cut that light off?
Cut this light off? I sure can.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can see it on the screen.
Okay, thank you. And so upfront costs are the down payment, closing costs, escrow, reserves. Your bank is definitely going to ask you for reserves. What reserves are months of savings. So, if you have a mortgage and the mortgage is $1,000 a month, or the loan that you're going for proposes a mortgage of $1,000 a month, then that bank may want to see $3,000 in your savings account. Even though you haven't purchased the house and you haven't, gotten your loan payment, but they want to see, can you handle that type of payment? So that's what reserves are. And then, of course, the moving cost. A lot of times we think about just purchasing the home. We forget, you got to get that moving truck. You got to get the moving crew. Even if you're just buying pizza and beer, you still got to pay for it. So, these are still things that you need to consider. And then when it comes time to buy a home, these are important considerations. The mortgage payment, it does not always stay the same. It's not like rent, or it can change depending on what the taxes are, your insurance if that goes up, utilities, and then maintenance and repairs are for sure a guarantee. As I always like to share, when I got my home, even though I bought my home in 2019, so had been doing home buyer workshops, all those things like that, got the house. And the day that I moved in, I needed to replace that front door. So I found out the cost of a front door, which I did not know before. So it is not cheap if you want it to look nice and all these. And I have a craftsman home, so I was, I did education on all the choices and all these things like that, but not the emotional piece that goes to being a homeowner. So I would really encourage you to check and see if home ownership is for you. It's more than just the financial, but it's the emotional piece. Do I enjoy the home? Does it make me happy? Those are other things that go into the homeowner experience. So, but anyway, that door cost about a good, like $7,000. I did not know I had picked the Cadillac of doors, and so do your research is the first thing I would say. Make sure you do it's a beautiful door though, glass and all, it's a beautiful door. So if nothing else stands, that door would definitely stand. So
I think it's better with the light on.
Okay.
That's
we're working out our tech tech issues
that's
here. Okay, moving along. So we talk about the 4 C's of credit: capital, capacity, credit history, and collateral. So that capital is how much money up front. Okay, when I talked about that down payment, how much money are you able to get together, have access to? The capacity, how much can you afford? Are you maxed out? Are your credit cards current, but you're still making that minimum payment? That actually drains your credit score. So your credit history. Have you had any late payments in the last 6 months or things like that? Your bank statements, are there overdraft fees that are at the bottom? These are things that banks are looking for, and it's like little documents like that already discount you for home ownership. So make sure that those things are in order. Make sure that you have that overdraft on your account if you need to. First of all, know your budget so that way you're not overdrafting. But these are your documents really need to be in order. And then collateral. What do you have to put up besides the house? Is there anything else to secure the debt? Okay. we talk about credit score. So FICO scores are consumer scores, okay? You cannot go to Chase based off of your Credit Karma score, or you can. You'll have a good idea of what your credit is, but that is not the credit system, scoring system that they use. So your FICO score, that's when you see the commercials and they say you can check this product without hurting your credit. That's what the FICO score is, and it is as we know, there's only 3 credit bureaus. There's Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Their Advantage and all those others, those are the consumer scoring model. So this middle section right here, that is the consumer score. That's for your education process. But these others over here, that's are the ones who are going to extend the credit to you. Definition of a credit score, anywhere from 0 all the way up to 850. And just kind of as the categories here, 850 to 720 is probably going to be A. 720 on down to maybe 680 will probably be B, and then 680 on down will probably be C. Give or take. So, the thing about when you go for a mortgage, the bank will have the right to look at about 10 years of your background history. They also can do background searches, so it's not just this consumer score, but they'll be able to dig into criminal history and different things like that, because there are different laws that apply and things like that. So that's why it's important to really meet with your team before you get ready to apply for that loan. We want to make sure that all your information and that your picture looks really good before you apply. I don't want you to be, I want to make sure that when you go apply for a loan, you're a confident consumer, not a prayer warrior. Right. So you can be a prayer warrior, but I want you to be confident that you know you're going to get this loan, okay?
What do you do if you have stuff that's not correct on your record, like if your parents put the lights in your name when you were 5 or something like that?
No,
people I've talked to said it's really hard to get that lifted.
It is, unfortunately, especially with identity theft and being so on the rise. And during the pandemic, it was really at a ridiculous amount. That's why we have so many of these different safety things put in place for us because of the fraud. So the one thing you definitely want to, and you can do this for free. Okay, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. If you help people repair their credit, good for you. And if you're charging a fee, I hope it's reputable. But repairing your credit and getting yourself together is an absolute free activity that you can do for yourself. And if it gets to the point where sending the letters to the credit bureaus, or even doing a chat, the credit bureau systems, they have chat now. They're really up to date with tech. You don't even have to just call the 1-800 number unless you're comfortable with the 1-800 number, or you can snail mail, do those things. But if you've done everything that you can do and you're still having issues, I would really say if you're going to pay, you want to hire an attorney, someone who can actually legally have the law to represent you, because that same $300 that you were going to give, I'm not knocking Keisha or Tyrone, I'm not knocking them. So do your hustle, but you can easily take that $300 and give it to the attorney who can knock that out for you. Great question. All right. So these are some of the things of what makes up a credit score. It's that pay history, that's going to be the bulk of it. So people always say, how can I repair my credit? Typically 6 to 12 months of on-time payments will repair your credit. The amount of debt you want to keep under 30%. So for every $100, you want to keep that under $30. Okay, that's what maintains and that's what builds your credit. If you have a $100 credit card and it's always at 70 or it's always at 101, which is over, you are actually doing yourself a disservice and you're harming your credit more than anything. The length of credit, how long it's been open, is about 15%. Type of credit that you have, a nice mixture, is about 10%, and new credit is about 10%. When you do inquiries, that takes about 2 years for them to fall off of your credit report. Not that inquiries are bad, but we typically like to see less than 3 every 12 months. Or if there are more than 3, there's a reason why. Like shopping for a home, there might be more. Shopping for a car, there might be more inquiries. It just has to make sense, okay?
So you're saying when people get our car today and we'll knock 50 off, you shouldn't fall for those?
Absolutely. Great comment, actually. And especially if you're looking to buy a home. I've had so many people, they got the home loan, they're approved, they're shopping around, and then they go buy the furnishings. Well, now you just increased your credit, and so your debt low. So now you've knocked down what you. I've had people where closings have been canceled. They're going to pull that credit report again at closing, and if there's anything that looks different or worse than when you first came in, you will knock yourself out of a closing. So yeah, so you don't want, if your mind frame is I'm ready to buy a home. Within those 3 to 6 months, you want your financial picture to only improve. Your savings should increase. Your debt should be going down. You should be monitoring your credit, making sure that nobody is using your information or anything like that. Great comment. And these are just some tips, making sure that the information is correct. I guarantee you, no matter how unique your name is, there is another person out there with social very similar, birthday very similar, who is on your credit report. I say all the time, my father and I, our credit is always mixed up. I think they don't think Jaria is a real name, but I'm a real person. So I think they merged me with Jeffrey. So, even at closing, they were like, where's Jeffrey Donaldson? I'm like, he's right here. He has nothing to do with the loan. He's just here for support. But he was showing up on my credit, okay? So, and a lot of times people say, I don't even look at my credit because I'm not worried about my score. There's other things. There's criminal information. If your cousin is giving your social and your name, there's a criminal report on you. Somebody might have used your name for child support. You need to check your credit report for just making sure that accurate information is on there. Your creditors make mistakes. I know Capital One, you probably ain't supposed to say names, but you got to check them. It's definitely Xfinity. You got to check them. Man, Walmart always has the wrong balance. So we'll edit these things out later. But I'm just saying it's important for you to check your statement and your credit report, especially in today's world where you have access to your credit report so freely. It's really right there. You really would have to just try to ignore to not find out about your credit, okay? Right, and these are just some things I want to get. So negative information. Everybody always wants to know, how long does information stay on my credit report? So I always say the good, the bad, the ugly stays on there for 7 years. So if you paid that car off 6 years ago and you're very proud of it, we are too, but it's probably not holding any weight. Okay, they're looking at information that's 12 to 24 months, things like that. But it does have the right to be on your credit report. Now, if you were late on a credit card payment 3 years ago, this is the 6th year, it has every right to be on your credit report because you were late. You can't ask the bank to remove it, or you can ask the creditor, I should say, to remove it and to work with you on different things. They may do that consideration, but by federal law, they have every right to report what happened during your time of them being a consumer, okay? That's for 7 years. Nothing automatically falls off. You have to request for information to be removed, okay? Bankruptcies. Bankruptcies, have the right to be on your credit report for 10 years. They may not hold that weight. For instance, if you were looking to rent an apartment and they say you can't have a bankruptcy within 5 years, well, if you just filed bankruptcy, you're not going to be approved for that apartment. But if they say you can't have a bankruptcy within the last 18 months and yours is 3 years ago, go ahead and apply for the whatever you're trying to do. Just have your paperwork and things together. But bankruptcies do have the right to be on there for 7 years. Judgments have the right to be on your credit report for 7 years. Satisfied or unsatisfied, it has the right to be on there. Student loans, and then those inquiries for the last 2 years. And this is this one is an opt-out number. I believe this one is just for mail. You have to opt out of all of them. You have to opt out of the text, the phone, email. There's like each way that you can be communicated, you have to actually opt for those ways to be excluded. But this one is for general mail. And as I said, this is how you can order your credit report, or you can go to annualcredit.com. That has all three. And those are consumer scores. So they don't hold any weight necessarily if you're going to buy anything, but they are educational, okay? And you can check these as many times as you want without it affecting your credit, okay? And then this is a good slide that just talks about ratios. So when you meet with the bank, they look at these ratios, that first number, so like here it says 2836. those are housing ratios for probably when our great grandparents bought houses. So that, you know, the bank, the house was probably $6,000. The bank would only give you $1,000. You had to come up with $5,000. And then on the back end, that's saying all your debt plus your housing payment. So the conventional, which is generally 20% down, you hear someone say, bank saying you need to put 20% down or close to 20%. 28 is just the housing payment, so that's the property taxes, expenses, the homeowners association, everything that just goes to the house payment. And then that back number is your debt plus the house payment. So like FHA is 31 and 43. So FHA will always do 31% of your gross monthly income is your house payment, and then 43% is your house payment plus all other debt. So that means your student loan, your car loan, your credit card debt cannot exceed 43% of your gross monthly income. And remember, we don't live on gross.
Right.
So that's why I said you really want to do your net. And then tenancy ratios, being a tenant, you don't want your rent payment to be more than 30% of your gross monthly income, and you don't want your rent plus all other expenses to be 36%. All right?
What's
those
the
are
difference
just-
between USDA and rural?
Very good question. So USDA, just like our aquaculture or whatever,
Right.
they also do loans. So a lot of our farms, so Plano, that type area, our realtor will get into more of that. So those type of areas, you can get a loan through that. And as you see, that mortgage payment is going to be very, very low.
Right.
Typically, I mean, they might be hitting thousands now, but I mean, in the early 2000s, stuff, people would have payments. If you had a USDA loan, your mortgage payment was probably the highest was probably $500 out in Plano, somewhere, right? So, and then on the back end, but you can have a lot more debt. You can have 41% debt on the back end with that USDA loan. Okay, great question. All right, and at this time, I'm going to bring up our real estate agent. She's going to come in her own way, and she's going to tell us the importance of working with the agent and tips for working with your agent. So please take it away, Miss Olivia.
If I close this, will it do anything?
Oh yeah, you can just close that. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
So my name is Olivia White. I am a real estate agent with the Starry Group at eXp Realty. I am on a team of amazing agents who do everything we can to make sure you get the house you love. So first steps as a real estate agent, when you come to me, I will learn more about the type of home you're looking for, the area you're interested in, important your price point, and most importantly, if you have been pre-approved. So we can't do anything without that pre-approval. It is very necessary because there's different types of loans. It might be an FHA, conventional, USDA, VA. All of those loan types come into play when we go to write an offer, and based on specific homes, certain homes will not qualify for certain property types. So once you give me a call, we will talk about the type of home you're looking for, your timeline, and we'll go out. Once we have a list, I'll send you a few properties. Oftentimes people reach out and they already know where they want to go. So we take a look at the home, we go through, I point different things out to you. We talk about granite, we talk about countertops. If there's if your VA termite inspection is important. If there's a basement, we look at any potential water damage. We just look at the overall home, but I'm not an inspector. So we just do a very light overview of the property based on what we see, based on the time that the home has been on the market. If you love the home, we decide what offer we should make. In today's market in Aurora and the surrounding suburbs, chances are if you walk into a house and you love it, someone else is going to be right behind you and they're going to love it too. This market speaks to time kills. And when you see something and you feel like it's the home for you, you have to be ready to make that decision quickly, which goes further to prove why you should definitely have your pre-approval in place. When writing offers, that's another piece that your real estate agent will discuss with you. There are many different terms that are negotiable. So in addition to purchase price, there's the closing date, there are the closing cost credits, earnest money, homeowner or home warranty, no warranty, and of course the inspection is a big one. One piece to note in the recent market is a lot of homes, not all, but a lot of homes are selling for over the asking price. So it's good to be prepared and have a number in your mind, and keep your lender close, because they're going to be running those numbers for you quickly, and you want to make sure that that monthly payment is comfortable. When you're writing an offer, another thing to remember is that there may or may not be an HOA. That is going to increase your mortgage payment, sometimes by a little, sometimes by a lot. And as with taxes, HOA tends to increase incrementally over the years. So something else to keep in mind. Also, taxes is another point. When we look at homes, once a home is lived in by the owner, you qualify for a homeowner exemption. That exemption means you live there and your taxes will be reduced. And when you're a senior, you get another reduction. So there's different things that will go into calculating your mortgage payment, and your lender will go over that with you, but I can give you a general idea. Earnest money. So, well, let's go back to price. I've had a lot of instances where buyers have wanted to submit an offer for a property that has received multiple offers. In that instance, if you love the home, you have to be comfortable going up. That's just, I reach out to the agents, I ask, do you have any other offers on the table? I try to get as much information from them as I can. Are they over asking? Are they conventional? Are they FHA? Are they cash? All of these things matter because it helps me know how to negotiate on your behalf. That's another thing. Ultimately, my job is to get you the home you love. So, with my expertise, I will tailor my suggestion to you. However, the offer is yours to decide. What goes on that paper is what you agree to. So price is a fluctuating factor, as well as earnest money. So typically in this market, earnest money is not required in Illinois, but in this market, most people are putting down at least 1% of the purchase price. You do not have to, but it will make your offer more advantageous to the seller, and your goal is to look good to the seller so that they pick your offer so that you get the home that you love. Yes.
I heard that the letter to the homeowner was a good thing. Is that still a good thing? Or?
A lot of sellers no longer want love letters because you can open yourself up to being selective. Let's say if there's a family or a certain job, or you could be in violation of fair housing.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good to know.
So a lot of people don't want them. But if you have an option, if they don't say no love letters, and you want to submit a love letter, submit the love letter.
It's called love letters, okay.
Yeah, they call them love letters.
Right.
Because you want the seller to fall in love with you.
Right.
So yeah, that's the goal. So yes, earnest money is collected 2 to 3 days after your offer is accepted, which goes back to what you said. Having those reserves saved is key, because you're gonna need that money pretty quickly once you go under contract. So in addition to the price, the earnest money, the closing date, we'll hear from our inspector later, but inspection is, to me, I always recommend for my buyers. If you're an investor and you've been doing it for a long time and you know a little bit about a little bit, I would probably still suggest that you have an inspection. If you have money just lying around and you see from the outside it's completely destroyed, the choice is yours, but I always say it's well worth the value to have that inspection, because you know going in what to expect, and sometimes you can negotiate those findings with the seller. You can ask the seller to contribute, to pay towards any repairs, pay for the entire repair. It's another piece that you get to negotiate. Yes.
Well, I know with my daughter, she had paid for like 3 or 4 inspections. And people don't realize you have to pay each time for a different house. They think that one, they can go from house to house.
Yep.
And so she had found a few houses and they found cracked foundations and all this other stuff, which saved her a lot of money, but they had to pay each time.
You do have to pay. Each home has different inspections. In addition to home inspection, you can do a radon inspection, depending how old the home. I mean, termites, radon, roof inspector, HVAC inspector, electrician. You can have anyone come to the home within 5 days. So the contract gives you 5 days to have all your inspections done. That 5-day period is called the attorney review. So in that attorney review period, your earnest money is protected. That 1% that you put down towards the purchase of the home, if something comes up, if you and the seller are unable to agree on a repair that might be needed, or you figure out it may not be the house for you, you can cancel and have that earnest money returned to you within that first 5-day period. Outside of that 5-day window, your attorney would need to draft an extension request, and the seller may or may not approve. Yeah, they might not approve. So that means that if they don't approve, you have to quickly decide whether or not you want to request it back within those 5 days. You can, things that make your offer look good. Purchasing the home as is. As is means exactly as it is, no changes. You're not going to ask the seller to pay for any repairs. You're not going to come back after the inspection and say, we want this money. But if you purchase as is, you can go back and say, we found something that's $5,000, $10,000, $2,000, $1,000, whatever it is. We found something that we're uncomfortable with. Within that 5-day attorney review period, you can cancel. You're not tied to it. So as is, sellers like to see, because it means they won't be asked for money later. You can also do as is, then there's options as is with inspection, as is without inspection, and of course, inspection with repair requests. Most of my buyers do an inspection with a repair request unless we're in a multiple offer situation. And in multiple offer situations, sometimes people will waive the inspection completely. Again, I advise everyone to have an inspection, but ultimately it's their purchase, their money, their financial situation. And yes, so once something does come up, or if something comes up on the inspection, you go back and you negotiate to determine whether or not it's something that the seller wants to help with. After that 5-day period is done, everyone agrees, you close attorney review. Next step, your lender is going to ask you to pay for your appraisal. The appraisal, again, if you do shop multiple homes, that appraisal was only for that house. So I believe appraisals are, it depends on the size of the home, range for $450 to $750-ish. That will be paid up front. Goes back to having reserves. You need to have your money ready. You'll speak on the inspection, but you have to have your funds available to have these steps done. And I, as a realtor, will also ask you if you have these things available, because you won't be able to move forward without them. So when you're buying a house, people will be involved in your business, but it is to help you make a sound decision, because there have been instances where, and you know, you can't get the inspection done, or you're borrowing money and your lender is looking at all the funds going in and out of your account from who, and it matters. So let's see. You can also ask, this market is kind of iffy when it comes to, you may hear 3 terms: closing cost credits, seller credits, or buyer credits. All that means is you, the buyer, want to, on the contract, you're asking the seller to help contribute to your closing costs. For FHA, you can ask for up to 6% of the purchase price. For conventional, you can ask for up to 3%. So something to remember. Whether or not the seller accepts your request is up to them. But if a home has been sitting on the market for a period of time, your chances could increase for receiving a seller credit. But in requesting a credit, we negotiate this, or you, myself, and the buyer will discuss trying to come in as close to asking price as possible, especially if you need credits, because again, my goal is to get your offer accepted. So some things that buyers assume we can do as real estate agents. As of August 2024, we cannot show you a home without having an agreement in place. So it can be a non-exclusive agreement or an exclusive agreement. I use exclusive agreements. agreements. And that exclusive agreement is for the length of time that we discuss, typically 3 to 6 months, depending on where they are in the process. But it says, I will represent you as your agent. You are working with me. I will write the offers. I will show you the homes. And once an offer is written, that agreement also states my commission. So that's all listed in black and white for the buyer to review. So it's no surprises. On an offer contract, we do ask for the seller to pay the commission. In the event the seller says no, the responsibility goes back to the buyer. And I've not had sellers decline the commission. They may have asked for contributing a lower amount, and even if they reduce that amount, the buyer would then come in and pay the remaining.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's all written out. So
Right.
clear.
So you saying exclusive, they can only use one realtor, they
They can
can't
only-
use 2 companies at a time?
Correct. If you sign an
Okay.
exclusive agreement, you can only use one real estate
Okay.
agent. Now, with that being said, if you are working with an agent and you just don't mesh, you don't get along, talk to that agent. And if that agent is not receptive, talk to that agent's managing broker. You have options, and you know they can try to make it work, but you are going to be contractually obligated to figure it out. That agent could let you out of your agreement. I personally would not want to work with someone that wouldn't want to work with me.
Right.
But nevertheless, you know, you do have
It's a
options.
binding
It's
contract.
a binding contract.
Okay.
Because I know with our first home, I felt like I was getting steered to certain neighborhoods.
You probably were.
And then we finally had to go find the neighborhood we wanted. Because she had this idea of where she thought I should live. And it wasn't where I thought I should live.
That's a good point.
And
See, I don't
so-
even tell people where to go. I
Right.
tell them, tell me where you
Right.
want to go.
Right.
I hope by the time you get
Yeah.
to me, you have an idea.
Right.
Because there's so many things we can't discuss. If you ask me about a school system, I'm going to tell you to go to niche.com to figure it out yourself.
Really?
We're not talking about that at all.
Right, and I got advice to go to the neighborhood at different times, like night, weekend, see what the parking looks like, see what the partying looks like.
Right.
So before you buy that house, make sure you know what it looks like, because everybody's at home on the weekend and stuff like that. You
The
don't
2
know.
a.m. house to get
Right.
get
Yeah, we
traffic
had one-
at.
we
No,
had-
it is good to ride through the neighborhood though.
Right, at
I will
different
say that.
times.
Go through at traffic, go through in the morning.
Right, school time.
School time,
Yeah.
in the evening, work time. Go through, because you're going to live there, but
Right.
not to steer you.
Right.
No.
So you get a feel, and most of
Right.
the time people fall in love. Honestly, they
Right.
say it works for them. Another piece, closing cost, as is inspection. Oh, when you buy a home, you do not have to put down 20%. So I know that's one of the myths that people believe, that you have to put down 20%. Usually, without these amazing programs that Aurora has, there's tons of programs as well, but it's typically 3 to 5% down. If you are an investor, then you're gonna put 20 to 25%. But if you're just buying a home to live in, 3 to 5%. When you click on different,
That 3 to 5%, is that the same too? Even if it's a duplex or a 3-unit or 4, is that
up
still
to 4.
Okay?
Up to 4. Anything over 4, you're getting into the commercial realm, completely different ballgame.
Gotcha.
When you're on the websites, if you see a house that you love and you say, ooh, I'm just gonna contact the seller agent, remember that that seller agent works for the seller.
Right.
They don't work for you.
Right.
So be careful what you share, because their job as a seller's agent is to go back and say, hey, they're interested, this is what they said, we can get this out of them. You're negotiating. It's business. It's not personal.
Right.
The approval amount is not the same as what you're comfortable paying. I have had several clients approve for $800,000. They're shopping $500 or less.
Right.
So what they say, because like you mentioned, they go off of the gross. So you keep in mind what your budget is. Don't let the idea of this big number push you into something that will later make you house poor. Don't do it. Don't do it. And if you tell me your plan, I'm going to remind you. Remember, you said you wanted your payment to be around this amount, so including taxes, insurance, and HOA. This is going to put you a little bit higher. So that's my job. My job is to make sure you're making the best decision for you. So keep that in mind. Questions. I feel like that's the main point. Oh, cosmetics. So in this market, prices are going up, and you may find that you want more house than you're approved for. Don't let that deter you from purchasing a house anyway. Because ultimately buying a house is a huge financial decision, but it's still one of the best decisions that you can make. We see the rental prices are going up drastically. And it is very much a time where a mortgage payment is lower than a rental price. It's changing completely. So if you're thinking about buying a house, I would say talk to someone, talk to a lender. Don't talk to your family and friends who don't work in the industry. Talk to an expert. Reach out. You can call me, call your local bank, get different numbers and different information, and start to add up and start to calculate what you can do and how much you can afford. And then yes, I am always available to help, answer questions. Any other questions?
Well,
You got a question?
I know one thing we read into too, that when my daughter bought her house, it had a beautiful basketball goal, like about a $3,000 basketball goal. And when they moved, they took it with them. They had 4 screws sticking out the ground. And he assumed that was part of the sale. And then also when they were moving, they broke a window on the patio, a little small patio. That day they moved out, and he moved in the next day. So then they were arguing about that. It was like that before, and we had to get the everything involved with the attorneys and everything else.
Yeah.
And they to make them pay for the damage they did moving out.
Excellent mention. Before you move into your home, you'll have what's called a final walkthrough. During that final walkthrough, if you see anything out of place, mention that to your attorney, and they go back to negotiating. And if you're not comfortable with what's being said, do not sign. Like, you are in control. Take ownership in your, you have authority over the decision. As far as the basketball hoop, there is also a section on the contract. It's the first page, and you can put on there what's included and what's not included. So the basketball hoop, it was nailed down. That would be tricky.
It was cemented.
It
had a whole platform. They took the 4 screws off and took the whole thing. Now you got 4 screws your kids could trip over and get hurt.
So that could be something where the agent should have written in basketball hoop to stay, or the seller should have said basketball hoop is a part of the sale. Either way, just so everyone knows up front.
Clear.
Yeah, it needs to be very clear.
Those things should be covered.
Oh, one thing. For you, what could cause you to lose your earnest money?
After that 5-day period, if you just get cold feet, if you just say, I'm scared, I don't want to do it anymore, I like this other house better, and you just walk away, your seller can and likely will keep your earnest money, because you will be in breach of contract. Now, if you lose your job, that changes financing. That is a contingency in the contract. You get your earnest money back. But outside of a job loss or a true
emergency type thing or something.
It would have to, it's ultimately up to the sellers, so it would be a risk. It would be a risk.
So if you got sick or something, that wouldn't count.
Not officially, no.
All right. Found out I had cancer and stuff. I don't want
You
that
still
house.
buying this house?
You gonna die in this house.
They could push you into, but I've heard stories of this, unfortunately. Of course, if the appraisal comes back too low, and the seller doesn't want to reduce the purchase price, that you can walk away. You get your earnest money returned. Outside of that, and that would be a good question for your attorney, but from my angle, I have not seen a return of earnest money just because you get a little nervous. So if you want to get scared, do that within the first 5 days. Because outside of that, and of course, once the inspection is back and the appraisal, but outside of that, don't know for sure. Know before going in that you have the intention to purchase said home. But yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys, we do have some snacks. Please help yourself. Refreshments, I should say.
All right, great information. And at this time, we are going to bring it on in with our home inspector. Very important. It is, in our state, it's not a requirement, but I definitely, same as Olivia, if you cannot afford a home inspection, which they're not ridiculous anyway. Then you are not ready for homeownership. I will go ahead and say that. So at this time, I'm going to bring up Eric, who I met during a small business course and just found out about his business, and he happened to be in this room. So we want to definitely promote local and small businesses. So I'm glad to have him be part of our team. So they don't know, but this is my team. Now they know. Thanks, team.
Thank you.
Oh, you can move that computer, or unplug it, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move that. Over here. Well, while I get set up, how you doing? I am Eric Trinidad. I am the owner and inspector for Trinidad Home Inspections. I'll take one of these. I think it's this one.
The sequence.
Plug in and see what comes up.
Let's see what goes.
Right.
See ya.
Is it mirror?
Have to see.
It like it's doing something at the bottom. No, no.
Screen?
Input.
Yeah, I just need to mirror my screen here. My settings.
Snack lady, we got it in the back, so.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
Okay. So a little bit about me. I have been in the construction industry for about 30 years or so. Main focus has been HVAC, which has been about 25 of those years. So that is my main focus, but I've done everything under the construction blanket. Currently, I do code inspections for the city of Aurora. So I have been inspecting for about 10 years. Been doing it on my own for about 2 or 3 now, for the residential. So for the city of Aurora, it's a little bit different. So those inspections are all code inspections, more commercial, new construction, things of that nature. The home inspection is more for the consumer. Home inspections, I must say, and very quickly, they are not code inspections. They are visual inspections at the time of inspection. Okay? So a lot of the times, home buyers will always come back and 3 months down the road and they're like, well, this has happened or that happened. The inspection is a snapshot of that day when we were there. So keep that in mind. Of course, we are going to try and give you as much information and let you know what's going on the best of our ability. So home inspection for the first time home buyer or any home buyer, actually, doesn't have to be a first time. So what does a home inspection consist of? It's an objective visual inspection of the physical structure and systems of the house from roof to foundation. So we take a look at everything from top to bottom. We're gonna go through your electrical, your plumbing, your HVAC, your, how the roof looks, how your foundation looks. If you have a crawl space, we're gonna get in there. We're gonna take a look at all of that. We're gonna take a look at all of your framing in your attic, your insulation. I mean, we take a look at everything. So that way we can give you the best information possible. So it is objective and unbiased. We work for you. We do not work for the insurance company. We don't work for the banks. We work with realtors. We don't work for realtors. So, you know, if we're in there and the seller realtor says, hey, you know, why don't you not look at that? Or that's not a thing that we do. Absolutely not. We also don't have a stake in the purchase or sale of the house. So whether you buy or don't buy makes no difference to us. So we do not keep anything from you. We'll tell you everything that we possibly can find. One thing is we are there to find things. That is one of the things that we are there for. So that way you do have that information when you go to that table with your realtor. So that is one of the things. It is a visual inspection, which is the minimum standard that home inspectors are held to, okay? Not many inspectors go to the minimum. So visual is no tools, no, we're just gonna walk in, we're gonna take a look and say, okay, this or that. We love our tools. We love buying our tools. We love using our tools. We're gonna show off our tools at every possible point that we possibly can. So we have tools. My one tool that I love to use is a thermal imager. So I will go through the house. First, I will do my visual inspections. I'm gonna check every component. At the end, I'm gonna go through the house again with my thermal imager. What that's going to show me is behind the walls, right? Because we're not going to tear open your walls, but that's gonna tell me, is there enough insulation back there? Could there be water that was not showing up initially just from a visual inspection? So that's gonna give me a lot more information to give to you, so that way you can use that later on as well.
That's good.
And then ultimately, it is for educational and information, right? This is the best time to get to know the property that you are going to purchase. So I definitely encourage the buyer to be there at the inspection, to walk with me, ask questions, let me know their concerns. If they have something that they want me to take a look at more intently than anything else, I can do that. I can go ahead and, you know, explain anything that they might have questions about, right? This is the biggest, most expensive purchase of your life. You buy a car, you buy a dishwasher, you get books and manuals and literally everything under the sun to tell you about that. When you buy a house, you get congratulations and somewhere to send your payment into. That's it. That's all you get. So this is the best time, right? So that's what we're definitely here for. So what gets reported on an inspection report? First would be installation issues, anything that was improperly installed. So when we're up on the roof, we're looking at flashing around a chimney or anything like that to make sure that no water gets into the house. We're also looking at the way that the windows were put in, the doors are put in. Everything that could be installed, we're going to take a look at and make sure that it was done properly. Maintenance items. So these are things that may need to be serviced annually, you know, every couple of months. We're going to take a look at that and let you know what those systems are that you have to take care of being a homeowner. There's a lot of things that if you are coming from the rental realm that you don't know as a homeowner that you're going to have to take care of now. Those are huge expenses and they will catch you off guard really quick. So we're going to make sure that we're going to go through all of those things and let you know. This is something that you're going to have to take a look at. Yes?
I don't know, you might get to it, but do solar panels become an issue or anything with or not an issue, but what's up with solar panels? Like what I've heard, it may impact, it may not. What's the deal? Like,
So, solar panels is one thing that is not covered on a home inspection.
okay.
That we would kind of refer to an electrical inspection,
Oh, okay.
so that way they can do that.
Okay.
Now, we will take a look at how they're connected to the home, like they're all roof mounted. We want to make sure that, you know, they're not creating any sections that could have water infiltration or things like that.
Okay.
But as far as function, will they, you know, save me money or anything like that?
I don't mean, okay, gotcha.
Beyond my realm.
Okay, all right.
All depends. I've heard stories, yes it does, no it doesn't.
Same?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, it all depends on where you're located,
True.
how much you're using it, do
Okay.
you get enough sun for it to even make that difference?
So those aren't really deal break. People try to make like those are deal breakers, like the solar panel.
Well, people
Tend-
don't like to buy homes with solar.
With
Oh,
solar
okay.
panels,
Really?
yes.
Okay.
Because a lot of the times they are not necessarily purchased, they're rented.
Right. Yeah.
So now you're
Okay.
taking over that rental, which
Not
again,
qualified.
now
Oh,
raises
okay.
everything else up, and your loan may not qualify for that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
So, yeah, solar panels is,
A whole nother
Yep.
beast. Okay.
safety issues. One of the things that I would take a look at most definitely is all safety issues. That is the first thing that I'm going to mention to you. What safety concerns you do have, if they need upgrading or if they just pose a higher risk. A safety concern could be, you know, an outlet that needs to be changed from a regular outlet to a GFCI. Okay. Something that poses a higher risk could be, I walked out, that deck that you're standing on could fall off the house any second, get off. So those are things that we're gonna be looking at, and we're gonna tell you right away. So that is our main focus, is always safety.
Okay.
So the main things we look for is safety, function, and just performance, right? So our last thing is performance. So proper operation of doors, do they open, do they stick, do they have their seals? Same thing with windows, faucets, toilets, just make sure that everything is operating the way that it should. So we're always gonna go through the house and go through everything like that. And again, we highly encourage you to be there, so that way we can point it out right then and there. So that way, a lot of people don't look at their inspection report fully. They'll glance at it,
Right.
or they'll take that summary in the front and just look at the main things that we point out. But if you're there with us, we can show you and we can point things out that you may not have thought was going to be an issue, right? So it's always best to be
Yes, I
there.
had a question.
Yes.
Okay, my first home was built in 1923, and it had lead pipes,
Yep.
and it had cloth wiring,
Yeah.
and it had a
Right.
fuse box. But I'm also happy to have a home. But later on, I had to switch it over. But some of these older houses, is there any way you can find out if they still have cloth wiring in them, or
Absolutely.
are they required to upgrade them by now? Or
So they are not required to upgrade them,
okay,
as long as they are functioning and as long as they haven't been tampered with.
okay,
The minute you tamper with it or change something,
You gotta do
that goes out the window. Now you have to upgrade the entire system.
it. Okay.
yeah.
But as long as it hasn't been touched and it's still operating,
Oh, yeah.
it's still operating.
Because I couldn't run an air conditioner and a microwave in the same room.
Yeah, and a lot of those older panels are, you
Yeah.
know, probably 65 amp,
Right.
80 amp. They're super small, you know. Where today's standards is about 200 amp.
Wow.
They're even going up to 400 and 600 amp.
Wow. Yeah.
So if you have your Tesla and you have your
Right.
charger,
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
kill that
gonna
house.
need a lot more power.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah. Forget about that.
So yeah, those are things that you're gonna have to think of as well.
That's good.
But yeah, no, they don't really have to upgrade anything as long as it hasn't been tampered with and it's working.
Okay.
But those are things that we will absolutely check and find for you and let you know, so that way it's in your mind that at some point you may want to upgrade that. We're definitely going to put that in the report
Okay.
for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So that way, you know, at a later time you can either say, okay, you don't have to do anything now. Maybe let's talk about it because I'm going to have to do it in a year or two.
You can tell if it's had 2 or 3 roofs too, right?
Oh yeah.
You can tell.
Oh yeah.
If it's
We
on a
can tell
slab
if
roof.
it's had how many shingles, how many layers it has. So anytime that you replace a roof, you have 2 options. One, you can go ahead and remove everything down to wood. That's a complete tear off, is what they call it. Or you can do an overlay. So leave everything as is and then just put new shingles on top of that. The minute you do that, you take a 20-year warranty shingle down to 10
Oh, wow.
instantly.
Right,
It takes
so take
half
it
the
on.
life off.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, I didn't know that either. That's
yep.
good to know.
So that is one thing that we do check for when we check the roof, see how many layers of shingles there are.
Okay.
When we go inside and we get into the attic, we're also going to take a look at the sheathing, the wood portion of it. So we're going to take a look at it from the top, we're going to take a look at it from the bottom,
Okay.
and we're going to find out what's going on. If we see any water intrusion on the sheathing inside, we're going to let you know, because you may not see a hole in the roof on top,
Right,
but
right.
it's getting in somewhere,
Right.
and we're going to see it when we get inside.
Absolutely.
Okay. So those are great questions. Thank you. Definitely, we go through everything.
Is cracking in the, is it plaster or is it foundation? When you see cracking in the wall.
So it all depends. So it could just be normal settling of the house, depending on how old it is. How large is the crack? Where is the crack? What direction is that crack going? Is it just going straight up and down? Is it going from left to right for 10 feet? Is it a half an inch wide, or is it an eighth of an inch wide? So all of those are factors that we take a look at, and then we take everything into account, and then we'll let you know, is it something serious? Is it something that you don't need to worry about, or is it something that you just need to monitor and keep an eye on?
Okay.
To make sure that it doesn't get worse. Yep, it's all in the report. So that's all, you know, performance and all, everything that gets reported on the inspection report. Timing. This Olivia had talked about. When should a home inspection be done? Per Illinois law, you don't even have to have one, obviously, okay? Usually, there are no set rules as to when it should be getting done. If you have a contract and that's in there, that's great. Usually with 5 to 10 days, you should have that inspection done. You don't want to wait much longer after that. And like Ms. Olivia said, usually you have that 5 days to get it done, and anything outside of that realm, now you're risking a whole lot of other things. So you definitely want to get that done as quickly as possible. Setting up a home inspection in a timely fashion is crucial, so that way you can find and figure out, is the house sound? Is the house going to do what I want it to do? Is there any other issues? What do I need to know before I go back to the table? Okay, that is especially what the inspection is for. Yeah, you don't need to do it. Definitely want to.
Right.
Definitely want to.
Definitely.
Especially with the current prices of homes. It's just a no-brainer for me. It's just like, why would you even want to take that risk?
Absolutely. Because higher prices does not mean a sounder home.
Absolutely
Everything is
not.
just expensive.
Yes, yes. And, you know, like 5-10 years ago, a smaller house would have a smaller price.
Right.
Smaller houses are almost the same price as the larger houses. And you're just like, what's going on?
Right. Yeah.
So you definitely don't want to skip this step.
Yeah.
You want to know what you're walking into. not only now, but for future,
Yeah.
right?
That's good.
Because we're gonna give you a lot of recommendations, that's what we're there for. We're gonna point out a lot of things that you have to worry about right now, or things that you're gonna have to worry about years from now, okay? When we start looking at your heating and cooling system, we're gonna let you know, is it ending its life? Does it look good? Things of that nature, but we don't have crystal balls.
Right.
Anything could happen, right? It could be functioning great right now. 6 months down the road, it could just totally go out,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And those are expenses, huge expenses. I have seen in my industry prices go from here to here really quick. Average price now, just for a furnace, is about $6,000 to $8,000, just for a furnace. That's it. You're trying to replace the entire furnace, AC, the whole shebang. Yeah, you're talking about $12,000 to $20,000, depending on how efficient you want to go, and everything else that comes along with it.
18,000.
Right.
It's pretty.
We went
You
from
might as well just-
from boiler to forced air.
That's
Oh,
commercial,
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Yes.
It-
See, now I love boiler systems.
Oh,
It is the best heat that you could ever have.
It
It's the
is.
most
Yeah.
efficient.
Especially for
the-
old houses.
Yes, it will keep it evenly heated
Yeah.
all of the time.
that is true.
But if you're going to transition, you can't run an AC off of a boiler, unfortunately.
Right.
So that's why a lot of folks go from the boiler to the furnace to try and get that air conditioning. There are other ways to do it, but that's one. Me personally, if I had a boiler, you couldn't get a boiler away from me. I'd have to figure out some other way of doing things. But
They're perfect for drafty houses.
yes,
Yeah.
they heat and they heat well.
Yeah.
And
Yes, stay
they
heated.
go forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely want to keep all of that in mind. What to do with the information from a home inspection. So now you've got the report, you're looking through the report, and you're trying to figure out, what should I do? First of all, don't ask me. Outside of my realm.
Alright.
I am not going to tell you, buy the house, don't buy the house. Not my realm. Talk with your agent. Okay?
Right.
That is the person that you want to take that report to. You want to take all your concerns and questions to. They're going to be the ones that are going to help you through that process. They know all the ins and outs. They know questions to ask that you may not even know. So that is the best person that you want to talk to. So once you get that report, you talk to your agent. There are usually 4 things, the top 4 things that I can think of that can be done with that information, right? First is ask the seller to make repairs or upgrades. Know that the seller is under no obligation to do anything that you ask. Absolutely not. But you have the information, you have your agent, you can try and negotiate that, okay? Second thing is negotiate price. If they don't want to make any repairs, if they don't want to make any upgrades, okay, fine, let's move it from here to here. Let's start negotiating price. See if we can get anything off of, the end number. Let's try and get something. We're here. Let's get something. That's our goal. Now the next one, like Miss Olivia has said, is the ugly one. But you can also cancel the contract if the inspection report shows something that is just way outside of your comfort level that you just don't want to pay for. If they're not negotiating price, if they're not doing any repairs or upgrades, and just nothing is going the way that you had expected it to go, that is an option. Depending on your contract, you have a certain amount of time. So you definitely want to set up this inspection, get that information as quickly as possible, talk with your agent, and figure out what is going to be your best next move. Okay? And the 4th thing, do nothing, right? You've got the information. You're not buying a new house. It's an older home. You know that there are things that are going to be wrong,
Yeah.
right? They could just be cosmetic things. They could just be maintenance things. They could be things that you go, no worry, I can take care of that. It's no big deal,
Right.
right?
Right.
I don't need to negotiate. I don't need repairs. I'm good. Great. I just have the information that I asked for. I'm good. Let's go. We're gonna go. Okay. So those are the things that you're really going to be thinking about once you get that inspection report. Any questions so far? Yes.
So, if the house, if the roof would have a green roof, do you think the buyer would want to buy the house or not?
Fishing.
So as far as a green roof, like what type of green roof?
The
Environmental.
plants and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the shingles and more energy efficient, more green?
Yes.
It depends on the buyer. So if that is something that they're looking for, then that would definitely be a selling point to that particular buyer. Now, again, it is a particular buyer that you are trying to find and you're trying to accommodate, right?
Same with solar panels.
Same
No,
things with
yeah,
solar
same
panels,
category.
exactly. You
Yeah.
are looking for that particular buyer that wants solar panels, that they're thinking about, you know, green and saving energy and all of that things. So it all depends. Is it something that you had done because you were in the home and that's what you wanted? It may not be what the next person wants.
Right.
So it doesn't knock you out per se, you know, from selling the home to a particular buyer, but you may have to wait for that particular buyer, right? And you're trying to sell the house, so you don't want to wait too long. I remember when I was young, and we lived in our house. We lived in our house for 20 years, never made an upgrade. And my parents went to put the house on the market. They made every single upgrade that they could, and then got rid of the house. And it's just like,
You didn't live in it.
you
with the
didn't
upgrade.
get nothing out of that.
That
You know, you
doesn't
could have done it
benefit.
slowly over the years,
Right.
and enjoyed it, and
Right.
you just did it for somebody else, and
Yeah.
never got to enjoy it.
Good point.
But again, you know, and then they kind of did it to their taste.
Right.
So
Oh
So you
yeah.
can still change it.
yes, yes.
Right. Pay
That's
all
true.
that money.
They
and
didn't
someone
like
And then walk in and just change
Yeah.
everything that you just did.
And
So
got the whole house.
Right.
and you just spent all that money. Maybe you got your money back. Maybe you didn't. I don't know.
But one thing I ran into too was my house butts up against the township,
Okay.
and the guy behind me has goats, chickens.
Right.
You know, city of Aurora,
Totally
he's in
different
township
laws
on,
over there.
on Sheffield Road, and I've seen the dude raise goats. He's had
Right.
chickens. They come in my yard. His dog comes in my yard. I tried to call a pound on him. They said, "Well, he's in Kane County," so I had to call Kane County. And so, when you do an inspection, let them know if they're right up against the line.
Yes.
They have
Yes.
to deal with two different municipal.
And that is one thing that
Yeah.
I found out coming to Aurora, because I never really spent a whole time in Aurora until I started working for Aurora.
Okay.
And then I found out that there is Aurora,
Yep.
Aurora Township,
Yep.
North Aurora,
Right.
and it's just like,
Yep.
it's all different, right? And they all have their,
4 counties, 3
yes,
Yeah.
Five.
yes.
I think it's five, man.
It's 4, I think. Yep.
And they all have their own separate laws and rules and regulations. I went down this one street and it was township. I mean, we came from Aurora to Aurora Township, just going over the street.
Right.
And I'm looking around and I'm like, what is
Now
going
you're in the
on?
township. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is township.
Right.
This ain't us. Don't
Right,
worry about it.
right.
Look away. You know, we're gonna drive out of here. And I was just like, holy cow.
Right.
So totally different.
Yeah.
Really quick. In a short span of time, you can see totally different things happening. So yeah, let's see. So my final point is, home inspection is just not a step in the buying process, right? We definitely want to take that time to take a look at the home that you're buying. This is going to be your hopefully forever home, or the place that you're gonna, you know, plant your roots, raise your children. You want to make sure that it is sound, it is safe, that it is going to perform the way you want it to.
Absolutely.
So definitely don't want to skip it. And then it gives you all the information that you could probably possibly want, and help you throughout the whole process. So
It's
Yeah.
well worth it.
that's
Yeah.
what I got. Any other questions?
No, I love your point about taking that report and going to your agent. I think that is so
Yes.
key. And then too, you know, even talking about the repairs and things, when I deal with customers, I make sure that they know about post programs too. You know, so maybe you get in there, but like the City of Aurora, they have so many rehab programs that you know maybe we can work off of this and you know make you find some other resources for you so you're not coming out of pocket. So that's a great point. I will make sure to make sure that I remind people to dig into their report.
Absolutely.
Don't just
And
give
the
it to the
attorney
agent.
too. They can
Yeah.
talk to the attorney and
Right.
the estate
Yeah,
agent.
yeah.
Yeah.
The inspection report is not just for you to know what's going on with the
Like,
house.
that's how they treat it.
It's
Yeah.
it's so much leverage that you
Yeah.
can have.
Yep.
It's
a
a
tool.
tool that you can use
To start using it as a
so
tool.
much to your benefit in so many ways.
Yeah.
People don't even realize how many ways it could help them
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
through so many parts of the process. So I really, it saddens me when somebody just skips and they're like, I don't need that, I don't want to pay for that, that's just something else I got to pay for. It's like, yeah, okay, you do.
Right.
And some people confuse their appraisal with a type
Yeah.
of
Yes.
inspection.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
an appraisal is about 15 minutes.
Mm.
They're looking around,
Mm.
they're doing the stuff on their computer,
Right.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. My inspections usually take anywhere from 2 to 3.5 hours.
That's a good inspection.
Okay.
Mhm.
And again, I go through every nook and cranny, everything that I could possibly look at. I spend even more time if you want me to. If you're a new home buyer, let me know that you're a new home buyer. You'll be the only inspection I'll do that day, and I'll spend as much time as I need, so that way we can get everything done, all your questions and concerns out of the way. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing because not all inspectors are doing that.
Yeah.
Some of them
no,
are texting you, meeting you,
Yes.
sending you a picture. So that's
correct,
amazing.
correct. A lot of inspectors even ask you not to be there. They
Oh,
just
wow.
want to go in, look around, be out of there in an hour and a half, and then send you a report.
That's a red flag, right?
And it's
there.
just like,
Yeah.
no,
Right
no,
there.
I want you to be there.
Right.
I want you to see what I'm seeing. I want you to ask questions. I want you
Absolutely.
to let me know what you want me to look at.
Absolutely.
Because I may look at something, I may not think it's anything big.
Yeah.
You may think it's something big. I need to let you know. Is it or is it not?
Mhm.
So,
and you also teach them how it works. Some
Yes.
people, you tell them where to find the furnace
Oh, right.
filters,
Yeah.
Right.
where, how to
Mhm.
turn things
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
turn
That's
things
true.
off.
and a lot of the times, one of the main things that we do need to do is, we'll put it in the report, is where the main water shut off is,
Mm.
where the main gas shut off
Right,
is.
Yeah.
You know, you could be in the house for 10 years,
I have no
pipe
idea where
burst,
that's-
and you have no idea how to turn off that water.
Mhm.
So you being there with me, I'm gonna show you, this is where it is.
All right.
This is where
That
your
happened
gas
to
shut
me.
off is. Yeah?
That happened to you?
The pipe burst, we had to call the association. They were like, look under the stairs in the crawl space. How do we know?
Why they
Right.
hit well?
No idea.
Great.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
So those are,
Look,
a lot of the things that we just go through, and give you as much information as possible. So,
Good.
Good information.
other than that,
You have
thank
any
you
other
so
questions?
much.
Thank
No, no.
you.
I've been in my
Any
home
other
since,
questions, feel free.
2004.
Do appreciate your time, and thank you so much for letting me present tonight.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate it.
This is his
Um,
first presentation.
Yeah.
You did very well.
Thank you. I
Amazing.
appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Amazing.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, if there are no other questions, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Wow.
Well, I definitely want to thank both of my guests for coming out. You guys, the information was amazing. I learned so much.
I
Thank
didn't know that
you.
about
Thank
the
you.
roof.
Yeah, and even all the differences in real estate. That I didn't realize how much was going on. And that it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I want to thank our little participant back there. Great question. No, because this
Might be a
generation,
good
they
relative.
care about green.
That's
Well,
right.
we all do, but
Well,
they care a little more. But I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And for those of you who are tuning in live, the rest of this month we have financial workshops in honor of Black History Month. And we want to thank Everlasting Word Church for allowing us to have this space and present this information. And we will be getting to you soon. We're looking in June to start our homebuyer boot camps. So my team, so we'll be working on that, and we'll be getting people signed up for that. So I want to tell everybody thank you for tuning in. And
if you have a relative living with you, can you go through the process to get things started for them?
oh, absolutely.
And then you could help find the place and all that? And
Absolutely.
Just
Yep.
find them options. Like
Yep.
if you got a son in
Nope.
the basement, won't leave.
No,
Right.
no, Everlasting Word Church has always been committed to economic development and equality in this community. So we are definitely here. This is our education spot. This is what we're here to do, to make sure that you have all the resources you need to make the best decisions for yourself. And this is what we're here for. We really want to make sure that people are finding home, we talked about that emotional piece of a home. We want you to feel welcomed in this community, and that you're also able to contribute. So no, Everlasting Word Church is here. My team is also here. If you have any questions, I will make sure to post their contact information again on the church's Facebook and on our website. So if people want to get in touch with you, and everybody have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Good.
That was good information.